So I'm sitting at my desk on a regular Wednesday afternoon, drowning in spreadsheets and emails when my phone buzzes. It's my wife, Lisa. I pick up. "Hey, babe, what's up?" And she says in this breathy, panicked voice, "I'm wet. Should I do it with a new neighbor?" I froze, like completely froze. My brain just stopped working. What? What did you just say? I'm soaking wet right now, and I don't know what to do. Should I just let him do it? Guys, guys. My heart dropped into my stomach. I couldn't breathe. I'm sitting there in my office cubicle, phone pressing my ear, and my whole world is tilting sideways. Before I continue, hit that subscribe button right now, because what actually happened here, you are not going to see this coming. I promise you. Okay, so let me back up and give you some context, because this is important. Lisa and I, we just moved into this new neighborhood about 3 weeks ago. Nice area, quiet street, good schools for when we eventually have kids. The whole American dream thing, right? But here's the problem. I've been working crazy hours, like 60, 70 hours a week. New project at work, major deadline, and I'm trying to prove myself for this promotion. So Lisa's been handling basically everything with the house. Unpacking, organizing, dealing with contractors, all of it. And I knew she wasn't happy about it. We had a few fights. Nothing huge, but she said things like, "I feel like I'm doing this alone, and you're never here anymore." I felt guilty, I really did. But I kept telling myself it was temporary. Just get through this project, get the promotion, then things would go back to normal. Famous last words, right? So anyway, we'd been so busy with the move that we hadn't really met any of the neighbors yet. Just quick waves in the driveway, that kind of thing. But last week, this new guy moved in next door. Marcus, early 30s, seemed nice enough, really friendly. And here's the thing, he was really handy. Like, noticed our mailbox was crooked and fixed it without being asked. Saw Lisa struggling with a heavy box and carried it in for her. I appreciated it at the time. Thought, hey, good neighbor. Now, sitting there with my phone, hearing my wife say she's wet and asking about doing something with Marcus, my mind went to the darkest place possible. And what she said next made it so much worse. Keep listening. Hello? Are you still there? Lisa's voice pulled me back. Yeah, I'm here. Lisa, what are you talking about? The basement, she practically yells. There's water everywhere. A pipe burst or something, and it's flooding, and I'm standing in it, and I don't know how to shut it off. Wait, what? The basement is flooding? My brain is trying to catch up. Yes, that's what I've been saying. I'm soaked from trying to stop it with towels, but it's not working, and Marcus saw me outside earlier and said if I ever needed help with plumbing. He has tools and knows how to fix stuff. And should I just ask him to come help? Because I don't know what else to do. Oh. But here's the thing. Even hearing that explanation, I'm still not 100% sure, you know? Because the way she said it, the panic in her voice, my mind is still spinning with possibilities. How bad is it? I ask. Bad. The water is like ankle deep and rising, and I can hear it just pouring out of this pipe. And I try to call a plumber, but the earliest anyone can come is in 3 hours, and I'm coming home. I cut her off. Right now. Just don't do anything. I'm leaving. But what about I'm leaving now. I hung up, grabbed my keys. Didn't even tell my boss I was leaving. Just walked out of that office like the building was on fire. And guys, the drive home, that was the longest 20 minutes of my life. Because here's what was going through my head. What if the basement flooding thing is real, but there's also something going on? What if I've been so absent, so focused on work, that I pushed her into someone else's arms? Marcus was there all the time, fixing things, helping her, being present in ways I wasn't. What if I'm wet? Should I do it with a new neighbor? Was exactly what it sounded like the first time I heard it. My hands were shaking on the steering wheel. Every red light felt like an eternity. I kept replaying our recent fights in my head. You're never here. I feel alone. I can't keep doing this by myself. Had I ignored the signs? Had I been so focused on my career that I missed my wife checking out of our marriage? But then another part of my brain was like, Dude, she said the basement is flooding. She literally explained it. You're being paranoid. Except the first part she said was, I'm wet. Should I do it with a new neighbor? That's what she led with. Who says it like that if they're just talking about plumbing? I was losing my mind. Genuinely losing it. Traffic was crawling. I'm hitting the steering wheel, cursing under my breath, checking the GPS every 5 seconds like that's going to make me get there faster. Finally, I turn onto our street. And here's what I see that makes my blood run cold. Marcus's truck is in our driveway. He's already there. I screech into the driveway, barely put the car in park before I'm jumping out and running to the house. The front door is unlocked. I burst inside. Lisa, down here. Her voice comes from the basement. I'm taking the stairs 2 at a time. And guys, I don't know what I'm expecting to see. My brain is going 1,000 miles an hour with worst-case scenarios. I get to the bottom of the stairs, and there's water everywhere. Like seriously, ankle deep, just like she said. And there's Lisa, completely soaked, hair plastered to her face, holding a wrench. And there's Marcus, also soaked, on his knees next to this massive pipe that's spraying water like a broken fire hydrant. They're both working frantically, and neither of them looks remotely romantic or suspicious. They look like 2 people desperately trying to stop a flood. Oh, thank God you're here. Lisa sees me and her face just crumples with relief. We can't get it to stop. Marcus looks up, water dripping off his face. Hey, man. Sorry to meet you like this. Your main shutoff valve is stuck. I've been trying to turn it, but it won't budge. I just stood there for a second, taking it all in. The water, the broken pipe. My wife looking exhausted and stressed, but definitely not guilty. Marcus looking helpful, but clearly struggling. And I felt like the biggest idiot on the planet. Where's the valve? I finally managed to say. Marcus points to this rusty wheel valve in the corner. I wade over there, grip it with both hands, and throw my whole body weight into turning it. It groans, resists. Then finally it starts to move. The water spray slows, then stops. The 3 of us just stand there in the sudden silence, breathing hard, soaking wet. Thank you, Lisa says to Marcus. Seriously, I had no idea what to do. No problem, Marcus says, wiping his face with his equally wet shirt, which doesn't help at all. That's what neighbors are for, right? But, you guys definitely need a plumber. This is just a temporary stop. Already called 1. Lisa says, they should be here in about an hour. Marcus nods, looks at me. Sorry for the dramatic introduction, man. I'm Marcus. Moved in next door last week. I know, I say, and it comes out a little harsher than I meant. Thanks for helping. If he picks up on my tone, he doesn't show it. Anytime. I'm going to head out, let you guys deal with this. If you need anything else, I'm right next door. He trudges upstairs, leaving wet footprints, and I hear the front door close a minute later. Lisa and I just look at each other, standing in our flooded basement. So, she says slowly, you rushed home pretty fast. You said you were wet and asked if you should do it with a neighbor. I point out. Her eyes go wide. Oh my God. Oh my God. You thought... She starts laughing. Like actually laughing, which makes me feel even more stupid. It's not funny. It kind of is. She's bent over now, hands on her knees, cracking up. You thought I was, and I was just... She can't even finish the sentence. Well, how was I supposed to know? I'm defending myself now. That's literally what you said. I was panicking about the water. She's still laughing, but also crying now, which is a weird combination. I didn't even realize how it sounded. We ended up sitting on the stairs, both of us dripping wet, while we waited for the plumber. And we talked, really talked, for the first time in weeks. I'm sorry, I said. I've been so checked out, so focused on work. You've been dealing with everything alone. I have, she admitted, and I've been angry about it. But I should have been clearer about how bad it was instead of just making passive-aggressive comments. And I should have been listening to those comments instead of brushing them off. The plumber showed up, fixed the pipe properly, gave us a huge bill that made us both wince. After he left, We spend the next few hours cleaning up the water damage. And honestly, it was kind of nice. Working together. Actually talking. Being present with each other. That night, sitting on the couch surrounded by fans drying out the basement, Lisa leaned against me. So you really thought I was cheating with Marcus? For like 20 minutes, yeah. With a neighbor you'd never even met? Your exact words were, I'm wet. Should I do it with a new neighbor? What was I supposed to think? She laughed again. Fair point. But for the record, if I was ever going to cheat, which I'm not, I wouldn't ask your permission first. Also fair point. Here's what I learned from this whole mess. Communication matters. And I'm not just talking about her being clear about the basement flooding. I'm talking about me being present enough that she doesn't feel alone. I'm talking about both of us actually saying what we need instead of hoping the other person figures it out. We're working on it now. I cut back my hours. We have weekly check-ins where we actually talk about how we're feeling. And we bought a wrench and learned where all our shutoff valves are, just in case. Oh, and Marcus? Actually a cool guy. We had him over for dinner last week. Turns out he's married with 2 kids and definitely not trying to hook up with my wife. So let me ask you, have you ever completely misunderstood something your partner said? Have you ever jumped to the worst conclusion only to realize you were way off? Drop your stories in the comments because I know I can't be the only one who's done this. If this story made you laugh or cringe or think about your own relationship, hit that like button. Subscribe for more real stories about marriage, miscommunication, and occasional basement floods. And remember, sometimes I'm wet just means there's a plumbing emergency. Not everything is a disaster. Although sometimes the real disaster is how bad we are at communication. All right, that's my story. Thanks for sticking around to the end. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.